Okay, everybody, welcome to our Thinking Thursday platform. And Bhavna is going to introduce our speaker today. Bhavna, go ahead.
Thank you, Ma. So, welcome everyone. And I'm so happy that somebody, I think Momita had raised a request for a session on crystals. And then, very quickly, a couple of them had shared this. And the first name that came to my mind was Gilles. And you'll soon know why his name had come as the first person. So, Gilles, I have known Gilles for, it seems like a short time, but it seems like a long time as well. So Gilles has a doctorate, and you'll see he's a very multifaceted personality and an amazing human being. He's been in India for over 25, 26 years now, and he speaks fluent Hindi as well, and probably many other languages. He is a trained dancer in many different forms, both classical Indian forms and Western forms, as well as Bollywood dancing. And in fact, he's been I think for the past 20 years now, Gilles, or more than that, you're a choreographer and a producer.
Yes.
Yes, and Instep is the company that he's formed, and mostly he would be traveling at, I think, 15, 20, 25 days in a month before 2020 came about. He's also an actor. He's acted in a couple of movies. And he comes from a very interesting, like I said, very interesting background. I'll allow him to also share that. But he does dance therapy, dance meditations, and his meditations are very well known. He does them regularly, and maybe he can share that later on towards the end. And crystals are something that he has a magical relationship with. I've done his crystal workshop, which is a 3-level workshop, and the way that he shared about crystals and the experience and experiencing crystals is something I really felt everybody should experience. So, Gilles, over to you, and thank you so much for accepting this request. I know your days are all packed, but thank you so much for coming here, and thank you, Ma, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you so
for
much. And
inviting
would you need to share the screen? Are you going to show any PPT or anything?
I'm going to show some of the crystals that I'm talking.
Okay, no problem.
Just on the camera. So
Okay.
just like
Great. So I'm just going to suggest everybody to mute themselves, and I'm going to keep it on speaker view so that whatever he shows at us and shares, we'll be able to see it clearly. Okay. So please mute yourself and be careful about, just in case the mute kind of goes away. Okay, or you don't do that. Okay, over to you, my dear.
Thank you so much. So yes, I'm going to keep it a bit fluid and just connect to my intuition to see whatever this audience has to hear. So yes, the connection with the crystals have been very magical. I think Bhavna used that word, and I think it's something that I would like to use for myself. As a child, talking to stones when I'll go to the forest or to the beach. I was born in the south of France, and my mother had boxes and boxes of pebbles and stones from the mountains and the beaches and the streets of south of France, because as I was a little boy, I would walk and the stones will talk to me and they will tell me, pick me up. And later on, spiritual master that I had met, who was also a psychic, and when she met me for the first time, she told me, are you looking for your stone? And that sentence put all these pebbles from my childhood into perspective, because I realized that yes, I was looking for my stone. This particular psychic told me that I was with her in Atlantis, and I had a great connection with the crystals, and therefore I understood that yes, it was part of my mission also to share this knowledge with the world. to come to the workshop that I've been teaching now for a couple of years. I think the first, I think, aware connection with crystals happened when I was in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. I was there, and I was having workshops. As Bhavna mentioned, I teach Bollywood dance all over the world. I also teach yoga and meditation, or I travel with my dance company doing contemporary shows. But I was in Seoul doing Bollywood shows, and I was done with work. I had a day off, and I decided to explore the space. And when I went into the market, the rain started like crazy, and I looked around, and then I suddenly saw some light on the side, and I ran. And it was like a beautiful crystal shop. So I entered there, and I was there for, I think, 5 or 6 hours. I was there for 5 or 6 hours in that particular place, and it was just so amazing to be able to meet crystals because I really consider them beings more than just things or objects. And my first 2 friends from the crystal world were, and I still have them, so was this little green stole called a prayer night. And I instinctively picked it up and I put it in at the center of my right hand, and it spoke to me, the voice inside me telling me, I am working on your lungs. And I could feel a great sense of freshness in my chest. I said, oh, wow, that's so amazing. And then the second one I picked up was an Amazonite, and I instinctively placed it in my left hand. And the stone told me, I'm working on your kidneys. And then I suddenly picked them both up again, and I felt there was a great sense of balance that suddenly, as I was connecting to my right hand and my left hand, I could feel a sense of balance and harmony in me. And I could feel a great sense of healing, and as if the crystals were actually messengers for me to receive healing and guidance for my life. So that first connection, which happened through my hands, developed again and again. And the 2 words I used, balance and harmony, were, I think, the keys that I kept on exploring and using in my journey through crystals. So of course, so I don't really work on crystals with the planets, so I don't work on crystals really to of course I enjoy jewelry, but the way I use is more about holding them in my hands, speaking to them. Sometimes I sleep with one crystal because I feel the vibration of that crystal is something that I really need to receive for the night of that particular day. I work also mainly on balancing chakras, and sometimes I feel there's a kind of blockage happening. So for example, for the root chakra, I really enjoy working with red jasper, which has a very nice earthy texture to it. And I like to work with the carnelian, which is more orange, the hara just below the navel. I like to work with yellow agate for my solar plexus. As you can see, the colors, not always, but very often, are also connected to the traditional colors of the chakras. For the heart, immediately I felt connected to 2 stones. So rose quartz I really enjoy, and especially in the form of a heart, to this ability to us to receive love, and therefore also at times the need to heal aspects of self-worth. Oh, I don't deserve love. I don't deserve to be loved. I don't deserve all this attention. Oh, and sometimes these voices are really hidden. Even if you're looking for love, actually there's a kind of an old tape recorder inside us saying, oh, I'm not worth it. No, I should not receive. And a crystal like rose quartz is really for me a vibration that really allow me to also connect to my inner goddess, the receiving from the mother divine directly into my heart. So unconditional love, and I really like to balance it with the green jade, or what's called a chrysoprase, which is a sea edge Rysoprase, chrysoprase. So when I place them in my hands, there's a great sense of harmony between the sense of receiving love and then giving love. So I call this crystal more of like more the inner goddess, and this one more about the healer, in the sense that for me healing is really a natural process. It's not coming from, oh, I have so much to give and you are unwell and I'm going to give you something. No, it's about healing. I feel is a natural energy which just overflows from all of us. So the moment you open yourself to the flow of receiving love, you're also able to give love as just an expression of yourself. And in that sense, crystals have helped me really to heal all issues of self-worth and allow the universe to talk through me. And in many, as Bhavna said, is as many and as contrasting media as Bollywood dancing or meditation and crystal healing. There's a chakra that I've been made aware because when I started doing meditation 20 years ago, I started having a lot of pressure in between the heart and the throat. And it was there very often. And as I went deeper and deeper, I found the high heart, which is also the center of your immune system. For me, there was a lot of, I think, issues and healing needed about the what's called the inner child. I felt there was a lot of, when I was younger, feeling very sensitive and hypersensitive, and I was able to transform that into a strength. So like any quality in us, sometimes you feel it's like a drawback or it's like an inconvenience, but when you're able to give love to that, you realize like, oh no, it's in me for a reason, and I'm the writer of my own script, I'm the director and the performer of my own movie. So of course I've come with all the tools and all the qualities required to express that mission into this world. So as a performer, as a spiritual channel, of course I had to be sensitive and I had to be able to feel things in a very subtle and very empathic kind of a way. So this particular chakra needed to be a bit attuned. So I found beautiful crystals like this one is called Unakite, and as you can see, is a mix of the green and the pink. So I used the pink quartz to receive love and the green to give, and then suddenly this beautiful crystal came my way, and I felt it was really lovely to hold it and really feel a sense of opening, like really allow my throat and my expression to be in tune with the radiant heart. There also this beautiful stone called ruby zoisite. It's almost like a painting, which has also the green and the pink that I use also for attunement of the high art or the timeless. There's rhodonite, which is more pink and black, but also has the same quality for me, and rhodochrosite, which is also a beautiful stone for attunement of the high art. So what is amazing with crystals that you can really program them or can really talk to them. For example, like I use a lot this orange carnelian I was talking to you about, more for physical healing when there's a bit of contraction in my lower abdomen, also for emotional. So it's also all for connection of what's called with blood. So also blood relations or issues in the family. So again, see, blood can be just connecting to the physical body, but also blood relations, as I said, your blood family. So you can choose and you can interact with crystals and decide to have some crystals more for physical well-being, more for helping you to release emotional block. One can be just also for connection to a higher dimension, like for example this very interesting crystal called Moldavite, which is actually found only in Czech Republic, which is supposed to be a very, very high, maybe for me the highest energy that I could find in my collection of crystal. I worked with around 100 crystals in the last 5-10 years that I've been in awareness with them. For example, Moldavite was really interesting, is that some says that it from a meteorite came and hit like a volcano. Some green glass was by this meteorite onto Earth. And I looked and I could feel a great sense of connection. At the time I was opening up, a deeper connection with this sense of being a star seed. So being a star seed, meaning that your soul would have a connection with a constellation or a planet or a star where maybe parts of your spiritual lineage is kept. And there was a beautiful channeling by Creon, that channel. There's, I think, an American master who's been channeling Creon messages, and he said that actually there's a cave on this planet where all crystals are kept, and also crystals as computers, keeping the memory of your soul, almost like your Akashic records being kept in that crystal. But he also said that at times meteorites from other planets, other constellations, other universes will come to Earth and create a deposit of that particular vibration, that the souls are connected to a particular constellation, particular planet. Moldavite is connecting me to Sirius, to also my connection to ancient Egypt, Sirius, Sirius, Sirius. So yeah, so it's all these very personal connections that I felt I wanted to share. There's all these stones that I really connect. For example, for the throat, Celestine. I love lapis lazuli for the third eye, and of course amethyst purple for the crown. But there was also, as I told you, a connection with Atlantis, and a kind of a system of healing started to happen in me, and the sense of sacred geometry. So I work with crystal. I work with this form called the Merkaba, which is actually two pyramids intricated. So one is facing up and one is facing down. And in the workshop that Bhavna spoke about, I speak about this activation of the Merkaba through crystals. And yes, so I am actually quite open right now to also open the conversation about if you had anything in particular that you wanted me to speak more about, or one particular crystal. I think Somya just raised her hand. Hi.
How do we pronounce your name? I don't want to be rude.
Gilles.
Gilles. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to ask,
yes.
How do we have to form a relationship with the crystals to get the desired or required energies? Like you said that some crystals have some properties, right? A particular crystal will have its properties.
Yes.
To get those qualities in us, or to harness those qualities, how do we, do we have to do anything, or we just have to keep the crystal and it'll do its work?
So again, I will speak only about my personal experience, because I didn't get my training through a book or through a workshop. It just all been channeled connection through my spiritual gurus, and I received. So for me, for example, I'm not so keen on, even if I wear bracelets and everything, for me, it's not the main connection. I really feel, for me, I really connect to, that's the knowledge I've been given. I connect to these chakras at the center of the hand. So it's very simple. As I told you in that shop, I picked up that stone. I say, because there was thousands of stones. Why would I pick up that stone? I just follow my intuition. It was nothing great. It was not so beautiful or so vibrant. I just picked it up. And then, as I said, I placed it at the center of my right hand. And then suddenly I really felt like almost like a green fire at the center of my hand. And I really felt it was good for me. But if anyone else would pick up that stone, maybe the need of that stone won't be that great. And also, if I after that, I read about prayer. Not so many people use it for the lungs. They were used for other things. But for me, definitely felt that it was good for my lungs. Like the same with Amazonite. When I read about it on the net after that, so a lot of healers are using for other purposes. But for me, it worked on my kidneys. So whenever I have to do a detox, when I feel very clogged and I feel the sense of I need a detox, I use these two crystals and I meditate. And then sometimes even I sleep with them. I just meditate and take them in my hands and then go to sleep. And then in the morning, I really feel recharged. So it's all about intuition. As I said, also, it's all about some crystal will be good for your physical body to help you work on a particular issue where you feel there's some heaviness somewhere, or as I said, emotional or spiritual guidance, or going deeper into one aspect of your life that you want to work on. As I explained about healing the inner child and going deeper into that connection. So it's, I would say, I know it's tough at times because some shops don't allow, because the moment you touch a crystal, of course, your energy gets connected. But if it's possible, try to touch the crystal and feel what the crystal is telling you to do. And yes, you can also, people also keep crystals in their houses, bigger blocks of amethyst or rose quartz or black tourmaline. Like, for example, I can show you. I use big blocks of black tourmaline next to my computer when I do sessions online, because I feel it helps me with protection. So just be adventurous.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think Dr. Shalina.
Hello, sir.
Hi, hello.
I just want to ask you, I just saw the topaz in your ring.
Yes.
And I don't know whether it is a myth or is it true. I want to ask you that they say that the color changes as your body takes the vibration of the stone. The color of the crystal changes. Is it true or is it a myth?
It never happened to me. And as I said, also, actually, I'm wearing this topaz because it's been given also by one of my guru. I'm not wearing really because of I went to an astrologer or whatever. Actually, I was in Surat in Gujarat, and one of my gurus was there. Her name is Rita Ma. And she asked me, without telling me, she asked me to go to his house, and we were there. And then some healing happened. I started having messages for a young, I would say a young girl, and I started giving messages about that young girl. There was a woman in front of me. I don't know who she was. I was talking to her, and I was keeping on. And I talked really about her daughter, and the healing was just amazing, and kept on going and going and going and going. And then so at the end of the session, this lady gave me this ring, and and so I looked at it and I wore it there, and I just went online and they said, yes, it's good too. So wonderful. My intuition was right, so I kept on wearing it. But I wear it almost all the time. No change in color. And I've never seen what's happening is that some crystals are very sensitive to sunlight as well as water. Like, I don't know if we'll talk maybe later about how to cleanse your crystals. Sometimes crystals take a lot of your energy, and they need some don't need at all. Some are really are clear all the time, but some can take a lot of your energy and they need to be cleansed with salt and water. But some crystals don't like water at all. Some crystals don't like the sunlight, and can change color because of the sunlight. So yes, that can happen. But as a connection to your own energy, it never happened with me. But so it might be possible, but I never experienced it, or anyone working with me had only, the problem with the sun happened, but not really about the personal interaction.
Because I had a yellow sapphire and I had worn it, and after a few years it just turned white. So I don't know.
Yes, so maybe the work was to for you to wear it for it to just take some energy or to transmute something in you. But yeah, it's like also when you have a crystal and sometimes it falls or it breaks, so it means that it's good. It means that like its work is done. So you should now bring it back, put it back into the earth, and thank it for that particular moment or transition that it brought into your life. Thank you. So I have questions also. Bhavna, do you want to read the messages from the chat and choose?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Anu. We'll just come to you, Anu. So Mandira in the chat is saying that can a crystal also be harmful for one's health? And Shakuntala is, she's an astrologer. Shakuntala just messaged, it depends on the quality of the gemstone also. I think she's talking about the changing of color.
Of colors, of course.
Yeah. So can a crystal also be harmful for one's health?
Well, yeah, there was always there was this debate now about Nilam, about blue sapphire, and even Lady Diana, who bought a blue sapphire before she met with that accident. So health, yeah, I mean, it's I guess that I would say again, in the 100 crystals I worked with, nothing happened. I know that, for example, I was in Jaipur and I bought this bumblebee jasper, which is like really colorful with a lot of orange, red, yellow and black, and it was told that if it breaks, not to keep it with you because the particles might be toxic. So yeah, you should check. But all the crystals that you would work with more generally, no, it won't have any negative effect. What you can do is, because the net is full of blogs and so many healers have shared their knowledge about crystals. So if you feel attracted towards one crystal, as I said, you hold it for some time, you see what are the effects of that vibration in your aura. And then you can go on the net and check. There's so many, and you can have 5, 6, 10, 15 different points of view, and you can check at a point of time. Then if it's, for me, it's more about follow your intuition. It's like you're allowing someone in your house. So if that guest keep on talking toxic conversation, and you're feeling drained when that person is there, and it's not good for you. And therefore, same with the crystal. You allow the crystal to come next to you, stay with it for 10 minutes. You feel immediately a sense of connection to your physical body, or some work on your emotional body, and therefore you can decide to allow it to stay with you or move forward somewhere else.
So Anu, I think we'll take Anu's question.
Sure.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Like you mentioned about having, I do use crystals to some extent. So you spoke about having a connection with the crystal or the particular stone, develop a relationship kind of. So I just wanted to know that in case you want to heal somebody, is it that you need a different set of crystals, or do you share your own energy or energized or your kind of crystal for the same purpose for somebody else? Can you do that? Or do you need to have 2 different sets? Is it, I hope I'm
sure, I understand.
Question.
So again, I will share about my own experience. So many healers will do other things, but I'll just share what I know and what I've experienced. So I use mainly crystals for my own self growth, for my self-healing, and for balancing my energy, especially also when after I do a session, because if I do a healing session with someone, I feel it's quite heavy and there's a kind of imbalance in my body, so it helps me. Or if I go through a transition, or if I feel at a point of time my ancestral line needs some balancing, so I feel that a lot is taken out of me to, or sometimes I feel that healing is required on earth, nothing personal. So these crystals help me to re-energize or rebalance or re-harmonize my own energy system. So I use that. If I have to do a distant healing or to send healing to someone, I'll use the same crystal, because the crystals are going to be physically in touch with me only. And even if I send that healing, I won't get another set. I get another set of crystal when I do a workshop, because I know, as the saying, there's that Chinese proverb saying that you can give a fish to someone hungry, but it's better to teach him how to fish, so that for the entire life he can be. So I like to do these workshops to teach people how to use crystals and not be dependent. Oh, I have to go and see a healer. No, we're all healers. We're all light workers. We just have to open to that potential in us. So I really enjoy teaching this knowledge for people to practice. So yeah, at that point of time, then I will, of course, organize a different set of crystals and then give them to that person, because the moment you touch the crystal, there is, of course, a connection. So of course, no one touches my crystal, and I give these crystals to people who want to work more with them. But if it's about self-healing, I use the same crystal for myself and for others. I just use them to highlight a particular power in me or help me to get more energy at that point of time. That's my practice.
We have a couple of questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. We have a couple of questions in the chat box. So Asha Patel is asking, someone gifted her a crystal pyramid yesterday. What a coincidence. Can you tell us the advantages of it? Does it have any side effects?
So was it an orgonite? Was it a pyramid mixed with a lot of different chips of crystals and also minerals, or just one particular
Very
crystal shaped
small,
as a
tiny pyramid? It's a very small, tiny pyramid. Came to me as a gift. You know, a very, very small, tiny pyramid. But I
made
got
of
it
one,
as a gift.
but made as one crystal. Is it one crystal shaped as
Yes.
a pyramid, or it's okay?
It's one piece.
Okay. And do you know which crystal is this?
No idea.
Which color?
White color, transparent.
So it will be like, is it something like of this, like this, but in the pyramids?
Yes, yeah.
So
Very
it's a clear
similar to
quartz.
it. Yeah.
It's a clear quartz. Yes. Someone says Sri Yantra. Sri Yantra will be more sculpted. Sri Yantra will be with a lot of sacred geometry sculpted in it. But if it's just a pyramid, it's yes, pyramids of clear quartz will help to actually highlight, strengthen the energy around you, purify. It will also help if you have other crystals, you can put them around that pyramid to help you for cleansing. So no, it's see what's happening also, sometimes you feel that that's also where your own intuition and your own knowledge about the path comes handy. Sometimes, when you do healing, and I'm sure a lot of you are Reiki practitioners or using any form of healing. So when you help someone to heal, or even when you do self-healing on yourself, if you're, for example, or let's take it very simple, if you have a flu and you want just to get, so for some time when you do healing, it's becoming worse, no? You're having more fever, it's more difficult because you want to go to the root of the problem, and then suddenly it's released. So the same thing, sometimes a crystal which wants to do healing will create so-called whatever difficult, unpleasant sensations in the body, a sense of because it's also helps too. So you have to then do a bit more research about how this crystal works. And as I said, there's a lot of literature on the net, and you can have a look at how this particular crystal will work on you. So sometimes one crystal will start with making things a bit more difficult, but just to intensify the healing. So just as I said, you keep it next to you, so you can try. It can be next on your bedside table and see how it works. You can do a meditation with it. You can hold it in your right hand or your left hand.
Okay.
Keep it for half an hour, close your eyes, and receive messages. But the clear quartz is really, it's a vibration which helps you to clear the energy all around, almost like a shield of white light, and create a great sense of purification. And also, as I said, highlight the power of other crystals. So just keep it close to you, and it's been sent to you, so for sure, for a reason. So just allow it to show you what is the gift.
Thank you so much. This came to me as it's such a coincidence. Yesterday I received it, and today I'm attending this. So it gave me a goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, it was like that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy. Thank you.
There are a couple of questions and statements. So Nidhi Sagar is asking, what would you use a Labradorite for?
So Labradorite is one of my favorite stones. So here I have a beautiful piece. You can see all the colors. So it can be, if it reflects the light, go into blue and green, and yeah. So Labradorite can be used for the upper chakras. Some people use it for the throat or the third eye or the crown. I use it more as, I call it, is one of my shamanic stones that I use a lot for. It can be used a lot by also for magic, for white magic, when you do rituals of white magic. But I use it also more also to connect to nature, connect to also spirit animals, and also for protection. When you are doing a lot of energy work, I like to keep it. For example, if I travel and I'm going to, it's one of the crystals I carry with me. Like I feel that it's giving me a sense of protection when I go into new spaces and I connect to new energies.
And Mandira Singh is asking that, are there any physical shops in and around Delhi or Jaipur that you would recommend to explore?
So yes, there are shops. So in Delhi, I go to this shop, which is a bit tricky because actually it's so it's in Parganj. He's also a healer, he's a wholesaler, but he's very picky. I mean, he doesn't allow anyone to enter the shop. So sometimes I've sent people and they were shooed away. Go out of my shop. So that's why it's a bit. So yes, there are shops. So Parganj has a lot of lovely crystal shops that you can explore. Of course, Jaipur has a lot of beautiful shops, more for, I think, for jewelry. I have someone I go to also in Jaipur where I also buy my, for example, I bought this amethyst, which was, I think, from Bolivia, that he had imported and was faceted in Jaipur. So yes, it's yes, there are shops. So I can, if you ask Bhavna, I can give you the reference of that shop in Delhi. Jaipur, I'll have to look for the number, but I can put you in touch with someone if you want to explore. Yes.
Okay, and then, so Nidhi also shared that Labradorite is a favorite, and merci, if I'm pronouncing it right. I've forgotten my French. Soumya wants to know, how do we get to know about your workshops?
So you can be in touch, WhatsApp me. I have a WhatsApp group where I post all my workshops. So there are some free group meditations on Mondays and Thursdays. Then I do sometimes dance meditation. There are also specific workshops according to the day. So on Tuesday, I do a healing through the pink ray of light, through Masters of the Pink Ray of Light. Then on Friday, I channel different forms of the Devi and I do workshops like this. The crystal workshops are more fluid in the sense that it depends. If I have say a group of 3 people telling me, oh, we want to start, then I can do a workshop with 3 people. So it can be at my place, can be at someone's place, and we can just decide how we can go about it. So yes, just through take my number from Bhavna and I WhatsApp me, and I can just add you to the group if you want to be part of the group. Otherwise, I can just message you and check with you if you want to do a crystal workshop.
And Nidhi Sharma is curious about your journey with healing and Bollywood dance. So she wants you to share a little bit more about healing and Bollywood dance and how all that intermingled.
All right. So I was a very shy boy, and for me, dance was the platform for me really to find freedom and express myself. I always felt that I could do anything on stage, and people who knew me were just like, even my mother was felt on stage, and then therefore, for the longest time, I felt I needed a bit of also like a kind of an attunement between the homely boy and the rock star on stage because they were really different. But yeah, dance has been always for me a way to open up to my soul. And it took me 30 years to say this very simple sentence: I am a dancer. one of my gurus, Gurudev, made me say these words. And a few years later, he told me that you're not only a dancer, but you're going to open up to be a special dancer, not from a space of ego that I'm better than the others, but special dancer as taking dance in new spaces, really allow dance to be platforms for people to open up to their full potential, to get rid of their fears, to allow the inner child to be healed, to really allow their higher self to dance through their physical self. So dance and spirituality or healing were always hand in hand. Bollywood came my way 20 years ago. So I had a training in ballet, modern jazz, contemporary in France, and I'd done 2 years of Bharatanatyam, 2 years of Kuchipudi in France as well, to explore a new language and a new form and a new way of looking at the body and shape and expression, and of course completely a new culture talking to me through movements. And a friend of a friend told me that there was this show to be choreographed for the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland, for the Fringe Festival. And he said it's a Bollywood musical. And when I heard that, I really felt challenged, because I was in India for a couple of years, but I'd seen Bollywood movies, but I was not a Bollywood dancer, so forget about being a Bollywood choreographer. And I felt a lot of fear, a lot of, I cannot do it, I'm not the one, why is he asking me? There's so many other dancers, blah, 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 blah. And I felt so challenged and so fearful that I said, yes, I will do it. Because I am where I am in my life, because whenever fears came my way, I didn't look away and turn my back. I really felt that fear has always been a vibration calling me, because I feel it means there's a potential in that particular situation that I'm asked to go into. There's something for me to understand about myself. There's a gift, there's a treasure, there's a key which is wrapped into that energy of the unknown and fear. And so therefore I said yes. So by saying yes, meaning I was giving my my word that I'll go through it. So I had to learn as I was teaching. I had to learn, and that happened many times in my healing journey, on my spiritual journey too. Of course, to be able to give, you have to receive, but sometimes you feel like you need a bit more time. But very often I would step into a workshop or into a project like that and receiving as I have to give. So I'm learning, I'm teaching, and I'm learning as I am teaching. And it's because I said yes, because I had faith that knowledge will be provided. So Bollywood came my way. I had no idea, and that yes that I said changed my life, because for the last 20 years I've been traveling the world, teaching Bollywood and creating Bollywood choreographies all over the place. I'm just coming back. Just 2 weeks ago, I was in Dubai for the opening of the Indian Pavilion at the Expo, and I ended with a beautiful Bollywood finale where I had to train 20 children from a school in Dubai with 4 of my dancers. So yes, Bollywood for me is about joy. Bollywood for me is not about steps. Dance is not about steps for me. Any dance style has a particular, like a crystal. Every dance style has a flavor. So for example, I had done an Argentine tango workshop in France with a psychologist who used tango to heal issues about your own relationship with your own body, and also how you relate to people. And it's been with me all through my entire life, that every dance style, if you dance tango with someone, or waltz with someone, or salsa with someone, you'll have a different connection from a different level. When you look at all the dance forms, sexual energy and flirting and being in touch with that fire, and so a lot with the root chakra and your emotions, your hara. When I dance waltz, I feel much more of the heart. It's heart to heart. It's a circle of heart. It's your hands are creating this beautiful circle of heart. Your heart connecting to the heart of the other person. Nothing sexual, nothing sensual. It's just about 2 hearts connecting, much more on the romantic side. When you dance ballet, it's all about lines, all about elevating yourself. Why? Because in the West, that's feeling that, or that concept that, that God is up there in the sky, and therefore you have to reach to, why reaching to God? Because you want to have this quality. So therefore the white ballet costume, white as a symbol of purity, the point shoes to go beyond gravity, jumping, being light, just going higher and higher. Why? To reach up to the stars, to reach up to these divine qualities. And therefore in ballet, a lot of stories about fairies and angels and all that. In India, much more grounding, touching the earth, connecting to the earth, connection to that being grounded and being grateful for Darth Lima, and really feel that connection that we are dancing because we are also have a physical dimension to our divinity, and therefore dance can be that beautiful bridge. And I really feel that for me, dance truly happens when the dancer disappears, in the sense that no more personality, no more I know. So when I dance, it's all about I don't know. And I want to be in that space of I don't know, to allow dance to take me to unknown and exciting and adventurous spaces. So Bollywood for me is about allowing the child within. And when I do workshops all over the world, is about allowing everyone to be in touch again with that child. Simple steps, sometimes funny steps, a lot of connection to fast music and rhythm and celebration of life and emotion, and believing in love and life, and believing in the beauty that life can offer. And it's very funny because sometimes some very serious journalists just want me to feel a bit bad about being a Bollywood choreographer. How can you teach this style, which is so whatever, maybe in their own whatever scale of things, whatever, not very elevated or not very intellectual. But for me, dance, and that's been a transformation from France to India, to reconnect to heart, to reconnect to simple but real, deep entries into what life has to offer. So for me, Bollywood is about remembering that we are all children inside. It's about fun. It's about laughter. It's about joy. And I can tell you that when I've been teaching Bollywood in many places in the West, and traveled with my show all over Germany and Austria and Italy and Spain, and it's just amazing how in 2 hours you can really feel a sense of transmutation. So I remember that show in Germany where it was packed. It was like in an opera house. Everyone came very normal, waiting for the show to happen. At the end, they were standing, they had the scarf out, opened their buttons, and they were moving and they were dancing, and they could not leave the space because something had happened in them. What? They remembered that joy and fun and celebration is also very much part of life. And unfortunately, in the West, I feel that contemporary dance has become so gloom and so gray and so conceptual that you forget that dance also is a celebration of who we are. And for me, Bollywood is about that. It's about remembering that joy and celebration and gratitude and the sense of togetherness. Be together. Like people tell me, like, I entered the room, I didn't know anyone. At the end of the workshop, I feel that I'm part of a family in 2 hours. 2 hours telling me that I'm part of a family because we danced together, we laughed together, we just dropped our mask and became silly for 2 hours, and we had so much fun, and our hearts were connected, and music was connecting us. And yeah, that's the magic of Bollywood. And I can say I'm very proud to be an ambassador of Bollywood, not for the industry of the films, but for the real spirit of what Bollywood dance can offer, which is pure joy.
So there are a lot of questions. I'm just go through those. And you stole my words. I wanted to share with everyone that it is such pure joy. Also, it's amazing, but just watching you live is such pure joy. There is no dancer, there is no dance, there's just this divine energy. So I just wanted to share, and there are a couple of requests where people want to learn dance from you. So And towards the end, yes, if you can, I think also to share about your workshop. So the next question, moving very quickly, Chandni is asking, is there any particular crystal for spiritual growth and awakening?
Yes, you can work on, I mean, if, for example, but if you feel you want to highlight your vision, so as I said, I really like to work with the lapis lazuli. If you want to work on the opening of the third eye, people also work on with azurite, azurite. There are many crystals you can find on the net also, but these are the ones. I like selenite a lot, so I have a little angel in selenite that I use for connection to chakra, which is part of that Atlantis lineage, which is 6 inches above the head, called the soul star. So I like selenite a lot. It connects me to the angel realm and be able to receive messages in a much clearer way. Golden calcite, that was also in my workshop, which is about the stellar gateway, a bit higher like this. But the typical, the more simple ones will be the lapis lazuli, and of course amethyst, which can be purple or more on the violet darker side. I can show you. Yeah, that's also an amethyst, which is almost black with a bit of white. So these are the crystals. Also that beautiful blue kyanite that also can be used, that I call also like it's almost as if you want to change the software in you and really open up to higher dimensions. So yes, lapis lazuli, amethyst, blue kyanite, selenite, and golden calcite will be my favorite for this sense of wanting to open to go deeper into your spiritual on your spiritual path.
I'm going to combine 2 questions, which is about jewelry and healing jewelry. So one is, we have those jade rollers and something else, some other, I don't know what it's called, moving it. I'm sure you've seen some of the ads. So does that really work or is it fake? And secondly, can diamonds, emeralds, rubies, can those be used for healing purposes?
So the rollers and everything, I'm not using them. I know friends who are also healers using them. So I'll see again, you if you can, you just use one and see how it works. It's become very, very popular. It's all over Instagram and Facebook and all that. I haven't used them, so I cannot tell you if I don't think they're fake. I think it's like if it works for you, it will work, because it's all about bringing that. I also have a friend who's designed these masks made of crystal that you put on your eyes too. No, I don't think it's fake. Of course, you have to be careful where you buy your crystals from. I mean, if they're a roller or anything else, because of course, if the crystal is fake, then the roller is fake. But the roller, if it's made of a pure crystal, will have a vibration, and it will be just to use. It will be a way to use it and connect to yourself. But I haven't used it in that form. But I'm sure it would have effects if it's for you. It's the way you want to connect to a crystal in that particular way. Then it will be good for you. But I haven't used it. Jewelry, yes, of course. Ruby and emeralds have and diamonds are also, of course, have also they also have a vibration, of course, and a healing vibration. Of course, it's more difficult because the good quality ones will be very, very expensive. That's why they use for high energy. But the emerald, of course, will be wonderful to work on your heart chakra. The ruby, actually, in the redstone, I prefer garnet, which is, of course, less expensive. Ruby also is difficult. I mean, you find very nice ones from Burma, but in India, most of the rubies are actually, chemically heated, or they've been chemically colored because the color is not red enough. So they're more like pinkish, and so people don't like it. So you have to be careful also where you buy them from. But yes, of course, the ruby will be used again. You can use also for your root, but also from the heart, passion, and connection to love. Emerald more from the heart chakra, and Diamonds also have a beautiful. I mean, I'm not very fond of diamond because I feel them a bit bland, connected in contrast to other colored gem that I prefer. But yes, the diamond also will have a great sense of an opening, and also like connecting to white light. I can have a lot of power. It's just about, again, you have to look, because some people like to wear a stone and keep it on forever and ever and ever. So of course that you have to look at, because of course if it's not really suiting your energy and you keep on wearing it all the time, of course it will have at the end some unwanted effects. But yes, all crystals, even like I have, like for example, when I went to Egypt, I picked up some stones from the next to the pyramids or next to that temple. So that for me is also, there's no I don't even know the name. It was just a stone I found on pebble. But when I hold it and I connect to that space, I connect to the vibration also of that space. Crystals are messengers of the earth, and as I said, also of the stars, in the sense that for example, as I said, Moldavite is like a green glass which was born as a reaction of the earth after the impact of a meteorite. You can have also black obsidian is also coming from that like a volcanic glass, which is also what I use a lot for protection. I really love black obsidian. I wear it also as all the time with me on my left wrist. So yes, it's like they are messengers. They carry a vibration, and of course, rubies and emeralds and diamonds are being used because they are rarer. Also, they have a lovely color and all that, and they have beauty. They also have outer beauty. Like crystals sometimes don't have any physical beauty, but the effect is just so amazing. So yes, we use the more shiny ones for jewelry, but you just of course have to be a bit even more careful if you're going to wear a ring or a necklace all the time made of a particular stone. As I said, the story of the Lady Diana and the blue sapphire. So of course, just watch. So as I said again, just use your intuition. Just wear it. It's like when you enter a space and you feel, oh, I'm not feeling so good in that space. So the same way, when you're going to touch the crystal, immediately you will feel a sense of warmth, of welcoming, or maybe one part of your body is going to be more energized. So just follow your intuition.
So there's another Nidhi, and she's sharing that her 6-year-old son is very fond of crystals, rocks, and fossils, and he likes to collect them. He has different red jasper, rose quartz, pyrite, meteorite, black obsidian, tiger's eye, many more. And is it okay that he plays with them and keeps them all together?
Yes, it's, I think, memory from past life. I had the same thing, as I said, playing with crystal. Also, once I was staying in Gurgaon, and I was like taking care of a healing center, and there was a lady staying there, and her son was very young, and he was just fascinated with the crystals, and I taught him the 2 first levels, and I was feeling he's so young, but he was just imbibing the knowledge so well. Yes. Let him play. Just check that, as I said, it's like some if it's just red jasper and rose quartz and all that, it's no problem. So, as I said, there was an incident where actually I was in Jaipur. I bought this bubble bee jasper and it broke, and one little girl wanted to play with it, and then says, "Oh, I felt like a bit." So I went on the net, and they said, "Yeah, it's not good to keep it with children." So some crystals, of course, if they break, and very rarely they can have a bit of a toxic kind of effect. But red jasper and rose quartz and all that, no problem at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have to unmute.
Yeah, there are some questions about general, how do you cleanse them, and is there a different way of cleansing different crystals? Do they have an expiry date? If you can just share.
So as I said, sharing is a lot. Then it's really, I won't say it's complex, but yes, like for example, in the workshop I teach about 20 crystals. So in the first round, the first level, the 8 first crystals I clean them with salty water. but you have to check. So as I said again, so much of knowledge. You also have these books, whatever, the Crystal Bible, and right now there's so many blogs and websites about crystal where they share, when crystal healers share their knowledge about crystal in a very, very open way. So some crystals don't like water. Some don't like also that mix of salt and water. Some don't like sunlight. So yes, so some crystals I cleanse them with water and salt. I also on full moonlight, I bring them outside for them to get a bit of that full moonlight. Sometimes also I keep them in the sun, but not for too long, because some are very sensitive. The color might change, and some are not very happy with that. And some I just you can use sage. I use also at times just burn camphor, or I just do meditation where actually I use whatever I feel connected. So it can be sage, it can be camphor, it can be just also a very powerful incense that I put my crystal and I just keep on turning anti-clockwise around the crystals and ask them to release whatever is the unwanted. Sometimes you could put them also into the earth. If you have a garden, put them into the earth for some time. Some crystals also works very well also about having an amethyst cluster, and you put them on top of them if you want to recharge them. So some crystals need to be recharged, but again, you have to do your research about. Some are taking a lot of energy, and you will feel that if you work a lot for healing purposes with one crystal, or you take it in your hand and feel, oh, it feels a bit, like dull or neutral. So it means that it needs to be recharged. So for each crystal, do a bit of research, and then yes, the different ways of cleansing them. But so I also have a cluster of amethyst where sometimes I put my master crystals I work with all the time, and I leave them for a day or a night, and then the next day I really feel that they're back to their original purity.
And does size matter in a crystal?
Yes. Yes and no. Some, again, you have to, you can also read and check, because sometimes you feel that, for me, it's more about, I'll tell you, the size and the shape really matter. In the sense, I really like what's called palm stones, like this kind of round, nice, because when you hold it in your hands, you really feel they have weight, and you can really feel the sense of deep connection. For example, the Moldavite is very small. I have even one which is tiny, and I put it in the center. It's like a green fire in my hand. So it depends on the crystal. Some are, yes, you have to be careful of the size, because also of the sometimes the intensity of the work, of the healing on you. And it's again about, but the simple ones, the traditional ones, like the one you work, for example, on your 7 chakras. For me, it's I like to have it a bit on the larger size, and also a bit round, and a bit to be able to feel their presence in me. And the rest is about, as I said, because it's mainly I work them to connect, to enter my energy system through these 2 chakras at the center of the right hand and the left hand. So it can be very tiny and be very powerful, but it depends of the crystal. Like as I said, Moldavite, it's just the tiniest piece of it can have an amazing, crazy effect on your energy system.
And the last question is from Manu. Can we keep the crystals in the water bottle to drink water for healing or protection?
Yes, so that's another use that I don't use very often. I use it only with shungite. Shungite is a very powerful, very ancient crystal, also a black crystal, that I use when I feel a bit under the weather, or a bit have a cold, just to boost my immune system. So I use shungite. But again, you have to check, because as I said, some crystals don't like water at all, and some also won't have. But yes, of course, some people use a lot. Of people actually do elixir and use crystals in that way. I don't use it that much. But again, a lot of literature is available on the net, so you can check. A lot of healers are using their crystals through water and energizing their water. For me, as I said, I've used it only with one crystal called shungite. But you read, and just check that it's safe, or it's a good way to use that crystal with water, and try. And I've read many sharings of healers using that and having very good results. But it's not really my practice.
Yes, I think that's it with the questions. And let me just check. Yeah, I think we've taken all the questions. In case you have, I'm sure somebody will share it. And yes, so so they can reach out, they can be part of your WhatsApp in case they would like to know about meditations and dance. And,
and as I said, if they want to create a separate batch and they feel whatever, some 2-3 people that want to be part of a separate group, just reach out to me on WhatsApp and we can organize that wherever you are.
Yeah, and you might want to say which city you are in.
I'm in New Delhi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you to this group. Thank you, Ma, for welcoming me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, so while I was listening to you, I was just thinking that we have these names like topaz, whatever, crystals names, right? Amethyst and quartz and rose quartz and all that. I think you should channel and change these names to gods and goddesses.
Wow.
Oh.
Why should we call them quartz? I mean, whatever function quartz is doing is obviously who is actually doing it.
Of course. Totally.
I mean, quartz is not a goddess, right? Quartz is the name of the crystal, but the energy that is coming through you and getting channeled through the quartz and healing power. Quartz is not healing. The energy that is coming through you is healing through the quartz. So I think you should definitely work on some channeling stuff like this, and maybe मैं तुझे बाद में कॉल करती हूँ. हमारा Thinking Thursday चल रहा है. So I mean, I was just thinking that you're so connected to the crystals. पत्थरों से दोस्ती नहीं है आपकी, ईश्वर से दोस्ती है. So obviously the energy of the gods and goddesses should be coming through you. So आज के बाद आप ना इनका नाम बदल दीजिए. You have to do नाम क्या कहते हैं
जरूर करूँगा.
नामकरण.
हाँ, नामकरण of the crystals. That's what you have to do. That's your job actually. ये जॉब आपको मैं दे रही हूँ, ईश्वर आपको दे रहा है कि इन सबके नाम आपको बदलने हैं. That's your work. Lovely. It was a very enlightening session. It was really wonderful. And as I was listening to you, I got this that, why doesn't he just change the names? How long are we going to call them by these names, They are divine. So they need to have a divine name.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.